Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. Thanks for joining me again today. If this is your first time, I thank you and welcome you to join the channel. Subscribe if you like the video, give it a like, and hit that notification bell as well so that you know when I put out videos. Right now I'm releasing videos on Sundays and Wednesdays. And this is very unusual for me. Normally I'm filming in my office, and today I was just like, I need a change of scenery. Plus I have a load of laundry over there that needs to be put away. And I'm also thinking about putting up, filming another video after this, doing a minimalist wardrobe. I've been very intrigued by a minimalist wardrobe and how that would feel, because I have a lot of prints and color in my wardrobe, and it's only been in the past few months, actually before I started my no-buy year, that I got more minimalist kind of items into my wardrobe. And so I'm kind of curious to see what it would feel like. So I'm kind of tossing around that idea, and I think I'll film it in here if I'm gonna put that together. So anyways, if this is your first time joining me, I'm doing a no-buy year. So I'm not buying any makeup, skincare, housewares, clothing, accessories, shoes for the entire year of 2023. So I've been thinking a lot about this week. I've had these little panic moments. This happens to me sometimes, like when I was uploading videos a few years ago. And I have these moments of like a cringe moment inside of myself. It doesn't happen when I'm filming the videos. It doesn't happen when I'm editing the videos. And it doesn't happen to me when I've uploaded them. It's the in-between time of thinking about, why am I making videos? Why am I doing this? What am I hoping to gain out of this no-buy year? And putting it forward for the whole world to see. And I think a part of that cringe is like, there's so many people making videos. There's so much content out there. There's so much negativity around that right now, especially. And there's so much negativity, and I'm trying to get my thoughts together about this, because what I see is, people pushing back against sponsored videos, and then I'm seeing content creators talk about their their struggles to keep their channels going, and they're making their living basically off of their channel, and it kind of makes me question why I'm doing this. I don't have a script today. This is totally off the cuff of my brain, just because I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days, and I've been watching some videos of some content creators. Like I said, there's one, I think her name is Gabby. I just stumbled across her channel recently, and she put out a video. Bless her heart. I felt so bad for her, because it was a very brutally honest. She's a very upbeat person, and she's very positive. But she put out a video about that she's really struggling lately, and a lot of that has to do with things that are going on in her personal life, like losing grandparents. But she's not the first person I've heard talk about this, and I totally get what they're talking about, you're making videos, and you're not getting paid to make the video. If it's just someone like me, I'm just uploading to YouTube, right? And I'm not even monetized at this point, because you have to reach certain requirements to be able to monetize. But I felt this with my last channel, What's Up Watchtower, which I did with my husband. And we, you spend hours and hours of research going into the video, and then you make the video. You spend about an hour filming the video. That was typically how long it took us to film a video, sometimes longer. And then it would take me hours and hours to edit the video, and then to upload, and then to respond to comments. And, you're not making any money. You're just really putting the information out there because you wanted it to be of value to someone. And our reason was to help people who were coming out of the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses that they were raised in. So there was really nothing in it for us. No financial gain. Eventually we did get monetized, and we made, over the course of all the years that our videos were up, now our channel's been demonetized because we don't put up videos. But out of the course of that, I mean, we probably only made a couple $100 out of all those hundreds of hours that we put into, or I put into the videos, because I'm the one that's doing all of the video editing and uploading and everything. And so it's got me thinking a lot, because sort of what prompted me to going into this no-buy year was that I was watching a lot of beauty influencer videos on YouTube. I don't really stray into TikTok. That's like, that's for the young people. That's not for me. I have a TikTok account. I have not uploaded anything there yet, and I very rarely go onto TikTok because it just seems like the dregs of humanity over there. And I've always liked long-form content. But we have to be real, man. People, their attention spans are so short these days. And, that's what, when you're trying to research about, because I do want people to watch this. I do want people to be able to come across this content. It's not going to be for everybody. I'm not for everybody. And certainly, there's so much content out there, and, you're competing against, people who have been around for several years, and not that I'm trying to compete. I just want to know what is going to make these videos more interesting to people, what's going to make them want to watch these videos, because you're with our activist channel, What's Up Watchtower, I kind of figured that people would come across us because there wasn't as many as there are now of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses making videos. At the time, there was, only a handful that were making regular content. And so it didn't take very long for us to grow to 1,000 and then 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. And if we would have kept going with it, we would probably be, I'm guessing if we would have kept going with it, we probably would have gotten up to 25 to 30,000 subscribers by now. Because our content was really good, and people liked our approach, that we weren't radical, that we were very logical and whatnot. But anyway, I have sort of gone off track here. But the point is, we live in such a fantasy world. Like, a whole fantasy has been created on YouTube and on social media. And I certainly don't want that to be my channel. You only see the most curated, beautiful parts of people's lives. Everybody looks perfectly coiffed. Everybody looks perfectly make-upped. I think that my hair looks like a hot mess right now. I think my makeup looked okay. It's a little patchy. I'm a little closer to the camera than I normally am. You might be able to see that. My skin is sort of peeling. I think it's from by the skincare products that I'm using. I don't know. But I'm not perfect. My life's not perfect. And I watch these beautiful influencers of all age groups, and they have this long hair. Everybody has long hair. And I've never been able to have long hair. And so the point is, I find even myself comparing what I look like, what my house looks like, what I have, what my closet looks like, what my bathroom looks like, because I see these elements of other people's lives on these videos, and it can really get to your psyche. Let's not even, I'm going to get into a little bit about what the comments and everything can do to a person, because that's what I was thinking about yesterday when I was watching Gabby's video. I think it's Glam by Gabby or something. I'll link, you probably know who she is, but I'll link her channel below either way. And she makes great content because she's a hairdresser, and she's, I believe, a makeup artist as well. And so she makes great content, and she's, a very likable person. So the first part of what I want to get into is like how we're comparing ourselves, and that's what is leading to overspending, because we want to have that lifestyle. We want to present ourselves the same way. We want to look like we have it all together. We want to look like we are different than we are, that we're projecting this fantasy version of ourselves online, which is why I stopped posting for a couple of years. During the pandemic, I barely posted at all. I didn't start posting again to social media really up until this year, actually, when I started this no buy channel, this no buy project of mine. And and I just can't stand to scroll through social media. Well, first, the reason I can't stand to scroll is because it's all advertisements. It's all targeted advertisements. And if you watch The Social Dilemma, that movie on Netflix, I started rewatching it the other day, and because I hadn't watched it in a few years, and I was like, oh yeah, this is very icky, the way that we're being watched, we're monitored. Every click that we make, every time we pause on an ad, they know that they've got our attention. So then they're going to pump out more targeted ads. They're like, oh, she paused on that ad. She's interested in that hair care product. She's interested in that skincare product, that diet program, whatever it might be. And that feels really gross to me and invasive. And so that's one reason I don't like social media. But the second reason I don't like social media is because I'm only seeing snapshots of people's lives at the best moments of their lives. And it can lead you to feel bad about yourself, that your husband's not taking you out to these fancy restaurants. I'm just giving like examples. These are not specific examples, but I'm just, so you understand what I'm talking about. I know you do, because you've probably all felt this before. In fact, now this is a true example. I have an acquaintance who is a professional model. She's absolutely gorgeous. And so there was a time when some of the activities we were doing in our lives sort of overlapped, where I was doing horseback. I took a horseback riding lesson, and there was another time where I went skiing for the first time. And she did those things within a month of me. And then I was comparing my picture of me on horseback versus her picture on horseback, where she looked so eloquent and beautiful and regal. And I just looked like a mess, a sweaty, dirty mess. And then there was a picture of, when I was on the slopes for the first time, and I was at my heaviest weight ever, and I just had this big puffy jacket and a helmet on, and then I looked oh man, I looked really stupid. But then there was a picture of her. She was at Vail, Colorado, and she had the perfect little snow bunny outfit on, and she looked, perfect, and the picture was just so gorgeous. And it was not a professional picture, I'm gonna say. These were private pictures that she put up, and I just man, I just can't compete with Marla. She looks amazing, and she's beautiful, and she's a beautiful human being. So anyways, I'm not jealous, maybe a little bit envious, but yeah, all her pictures look so beautiful. So social media makes us feel connected to people, but we're not actually connected. And I was doing my best during the pandemic to have people over to my house, to have 2 people over, a couple over for dinner, so we were kind of spreading that out, having people come to the house and have a nice dinner and connect with people. And it wasn't easy. And then there was a lot of people that were just afraid. They were afraid to leave their house. They were afraid to get together in person. And, everybody has to live their life. Everybody has to do what makes sense for them. But either way, I'm just realizing I've gone off on a huge tangent. And I do have a point with this. And my point is, when you think about throughout history, what people had to compare their lives to, you had royalty, you have the aristocracy, and then you had the lower class, the peasant class. And most of the time, peasants didn't so it sounds weird calling people peasants, but let's be real, they were peasants. And so those people didn't have daily interactions with people of great wealth. Most of what they saw around them was people who were of the same social status, who were in the very same situation as they were. So I think they had a contentment in their life maybe that we don't have in this modern age, because in this modern age now we have constant comparison to people who maybe they have that much wealth and maybe they don't. Maybe it's all finance, maybe it's all fake, but either way it's made to look real. And if you don't know better, you think it is real, and maybe it is. Maybe it is real. And I don't begrudge anybody who has put in the work, and okay, maybe they haven't even put in the work, but either way, they've been able to accumulate certain status and wealth, and especially if you've worked hard for it. And you don't, most of us will never know how much work actually went into people, especially content creators who built successful businesses off of making YouTube videos, and then maybe they move that into other businesses. And that's really the goal, though. Even myself would like to build the business that I have with my husband and possibly create a new business. At this point, working full time, not really something I think I can do at this time, but eventually. But you never know how much work really went into all of that. And so I'm not going to disparage those people, because I know that they have worked hard for what they've gotten. But moving on to the second point of being a content creator is that you have to constantly create content. And that can lead to extreme burnout. And I can imagine it wouldn't take that long to get to that point of burnout, because this is not a permanent, this is not like building a brick and mortar store. This is not like building a permanent architecture that people can see. It's so transient, and everybody's looking for the next thing. Everybody wants that hit of dopamine, of adrenaline, all those chemicals, and getting rewards. You see that when you watch The Social Dilemma, the notifications and things, those little dings and pop-up screens and messages, which feed that addiction to even they. So I'm having trouble describing this, but even the people that were on the documentary who worked in those tech companies had trouble describing what it was that was the problem with social media. But I think you know what I mean, and I don't need to get too technical about it. I'm not a psychologist, but I do think that we can all kind of understand what is happening here, and that we are all affected by it. Because I know even myself, like if I would post something to Instagram, even my 30-day wardrobe challenge, and I'm like, I've put in so much effort to create this post. I've spent like maybe a half an hour on each post total, not only putting together the wardrobe, but taking the photos, and then making the layout, and then writing up the little paragraph and about it. And so then when you feel like nobody's really watching it, nobody's really looking at it, and it can be a little disheartening. Like, why should I put so much time into something when nobody's going to really pay attention? And here's the true question though, do I really want them to pay attention? What would that attention look like? And that's what I see with the sort of, I'm going to call them meltdowns of content creators who, so my phone ran out of storage space. I can't even believe that. I've only had this phone for less than a year, but it's making all these videos. So I had to delete all my old videos off of my phone. And then I was like, wow, I went on for 20 minutes in that last, part of my video. So anyways, I ended up by saying, do we really want this attention, and what would that look like? And what I'm seeing from content creators is, the the magnifying glass that they're placed under, the scrutiny that they're placed under, and how psychologically damaging that can be, because we're all just normal people, just like the person sitting on their couch or wherever you're watching this from. We're all just normal people. Even celebrities, we're all just normal people. I don't want anybody to think I'm calling myself a celebrity just because I have a little YouTube channel with under 500 subscribers. No, that's not the point. What the point is we're just normal people trying to make content that we are interested in, that we want to bring value to people. And, there are people that do. I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to be famous and with all that goes into that. But, that's not my goal. And anyways, so really it's how much scrutiny am I willing to bring upon myself by making videos and being in the public eye. And it's really strange when you think about it, how people from all over the world can look at your content. It's the first time in history where, we have thousands and thousands of years of people just living in little isolated pockets of the world and very little contact with even villages 20 miles away at times, they wouldn't have much contact with. So to think about how, anybody from anywhere in the world can be watching you. And so I get those little feelings of I'm not going to say it's insecurity, it's cringe. It's like, oof, do I really want to be putting myself out there like this? And is it worth it? Am I bringing anything to the table that's of value to anyone? I hope so. I hope that, to me, it's like the saying goes, you teach that best which you need to learn. So I'm trying to teach concepts that I want to learn, that I want to memorize into my brain so that I can make the changes in my life that I want. And, so I'm hoping that some of this is of value to some of you. And if you liked any of this, I know this was a very rambly video and was a little all over the place, but it's a lot of different concepts, but it's something for us to think about. And what we're attracting by putting out this information, by putting ourselves out there, what are we attracting back? And so anyways, I'm going to leave it with that. And I thank you so much for watching, and leave comments below. What are your thoughts about any of the things that I talked about here? I really appreciate that, and it helps a lot to get comments. But until next time, you're doing great. I'm doing great. You're doing great. And I will see you next time. Bye.